Hey everybody, in this video what we're going to be doing is continuing on with geometry, and we're going to be doing the basics of circles, and then we're going to have a little bit with finding angle measures at the end, which should look familiar because we've had some questions like that in the past. So the first thing, the definition of a circle. I'm sure you all know what a circle already looks like, but its official definition is this right here. It's the set of points that are all the same distance from a given point. So this point here, this point here, this point here, every single point that we could possibly draw is going to be the exact same distance from the center. Now, we also need to know that anything outside the circle is going to be called the exterior, anything inside is going to be called the interior, and then if we have a point like that, we just say that is on the circle. And by the way that we name circles is we just draw what appears to be a circle, we put a dot in it, and then we name it by whatever the center is called. So since this here has a center which is labeled as A, the name of the circle is circle A. Then two more things from a circle that we need to know: the chord. So just like in music where you have chords there, it's pronounced the same way. This one, it's going to be a line segment that connects 2 points on the circle. So what we have here, that's a chord. If I draw one there, that is a chord. This, whoops, let me make it better. That would have been a chord, and so on. And then we have a very special type of chord, one that you are probably familiar with, the diameter. So that is a chord that must pass through the center of the circle. And so you can see that right here. We have the center there, and yes, that diameter indeed goes through the center. Related to the diameter then, we have the radius, and so that's going to be the distance from the center to a point on the circle. That's kind of like what I was drawing earlier when I was doing all those lines then going from the center. I was drawing every single radius. In case you're curious, the plural for radius is radii. We spell it like that. And one important thing that we need to know is that the diameter will be twice as long as the radius. So we know then that d equals 2r. So what I want you to do is pause the video, make a circle like this one here, and then I want you to draw in all of these. Make sure that you are using correct labels. Pause the video. When you are done, I will show you the answers. Okay, so the first one, draw a circle and label it center P. Well, I cheated and already had a circle here, and the center was already drawn in, and I'm just going to label that P. Now the next one is we need to draw a radius and label one of its ends K. So I will just go ahead and draw a radius there. I'm going to fix it a little bit. There we go. And we were told that one end has to be labeled K. Since this one is already P, we can't call the center K. We have to call the other one K. Then for letter C, draw a diameter of circle P and label its endpoints L and M. Well, we can't go through the radius because we already have K there, so we'll have to go somewhere else. And I'm going to get my diameter right there. And then we need to label the endpoints L and M, so I'll call that one L, and then down at the bottom, that can be M. Letter D, draw a chord and then label the endpoints C and D. So I'll just put one right there. And then there is C, there is D, there is a chord. And then finally, E, we need to draw 2 points R and S that are on the circle, pretty much just anywhere that hasn't been used by another point yet. So I'm going to decide just down here, I'll call that first one R, I'll call that one S. Yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine, but you should have a chord that touches 2 ends of the circle, a radius that goes from the center to the edge. You should have a diameter that goes and touches both ends of the circle and goes through the center. You need 2 points R and S that do not belong to anything else from the circle. Okay, now we've done questions like these angles down here at the bottom before. We know that a circle is going to have 360 degrees, and so that also helps explain why a picture like this, all of the angles must add together to be 360 degrees. So we have a couple questions then that we're going to finish with for these notes. This one, we're supposed to find the value of A. Make sure that you remember that the markings here, this is a 90-degree angle and this is also a right angle, so it's 90 degrees. Then we can go ahead and either add everything and set it equal to 360, or some of you might want to just subtract all of those from 360. There's no real correct way of, or I should say, I'm sorry. There's not really one way that's better than the other, so I'm just going to add everything together. We're going to have A plus, and then it'll be 113 plus 90 plus 45 plus 90, and that's going to be equal to 360. Now let's simplify the left side and add all of those together. Let's see, 90 and 90 is going to be 180 plus 45, that's 225. And then here we are going to get 338. So make sure, double check my math and make sure that I got that correct. All right, we are going to subtract 338 from both sides. And that's going to leave us then, let's see, 360 minus 338, that should be 22 degrees. Okay, so similar question here. Pause the video, solve for B. When you are done, start the video again, and I will give you the answer. Okay, now that you have tried this, similar to what we just had on the previous question, we're going to do B plus 125 plus, this is a right angle, so it's 90, plus 30, and the whole thing needs to be equal to 360 degrees. So we're going to combine our like terms over on the left side. 90 and 30 makes 120, and then plus 125 gives us 245. Then we're going to subtract 245 from both sides. And that will leave us with 115 degrees. And that is it. We didn't have very much to do here. So here is the homework assignment. A hint for 55A, since the directions are a little unclear, you're supposed to have all your answers as names of parts of a circle. So like you're supposed to identify, is it a radius, is it a chord, is it a diameter, and so on. Some of the other things that we've covered in the notes today. So thank you for listening, everybody, and have a good day.